back to what really matters.
Minorities, isn't that?
There was one more timestamp this guy had for 2:35. It's like right at the end.
Productive to start talking over one another. It really, really isn't.
Hello, can you guys hear me just fine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, this is address. Yes, this is Ali or Geek. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Can y'all hear me just fine? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually up here to, so sorry, tomfoolery. I don't know who you are. I do apologize. I have no issues with, genuine ill will towards you. I actually came up here to address Z directly, as I am the host of the original live that she's speaking about, and I feel like I have every right to be up here and ask her a few questions directly, if you don't mind.
Ooh.
Nothing too crazy. I'll let her engage. I just truly want to understand her thought process with this entire thing.
Z, is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
What's left to complete the game? I'm just building parts for my final ship now. I'm building fusion reactors and rail guns.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, so just to clarify, Z, you said that there's a few things I would like to address, and the main one I will actually address is what you just mentioned. You specifically stated that you apologized to the people that you felt like was important to apologize for, and of course, I'm assuming you're talking about those that were going on the tour directly, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, why did you not feel the need to talk to the people that you actually harmed?
Well, are you referring to you and the women on the panel?
Yes.
So to me, the way that you guys engaged back with me told me that an apology wouldn't make a difference because you weren't there to listen to me to begin with or to have like a genuine conversation. So to me, what it looks like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but at least like my knowing of Tashika's history, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I'm not judging you or anybody else on that panel, except for obviously the people that were very upset with me on that panel. But my understanding was that you guys weren't there to have a genuine conversation about the tour.
Yeah, so that's not fundamentally true. You were listening to us in regarding to our suggestions, in regards to the positivity about what this might bring with the...
Oh no. Okay, hold on. We got a second video. Okay, what's up?
Hey, just hopped in real quick. The new edition of the Pragmatic Papers just dropped. Everybody in chat. I just dropped the link in chat. Everyone go read it. Mind if I do a quick shout out for some people?
Go for it.
Cool. There are two really cool articles that we have this week. The first one is called The Road to Brexit by Reason Riffs, who's also a super cool guy. We've been having a lot of fun talking to him. And he wrote a really, really good comprehensive article about how the UK kind of helped build the EU and its early years a part of it, and how Brexit, which happened 9 years ago, actually, was actually kind of fomented for about 30 years before, even more than that, about 30 plus years, and how that came to fruition. And so I recommend people read that one. And then immediately after, we have another one called Bridging the Channel, written by Case, about how now the UK is turning back to the EU and how they're kind of looking more in that direction for trade and things like that. So it's a really good one, too, if you want to read about some Bonger stuff. And then there's another really great article by Phelan TV. He's been with us since the beginning. He's been doing some really, really good stuff on Ukraine, and he's been giving really good updates, really in depth. This week he did a day-by-day breakdown of the peace talks that have been going on over in Istanbul. And I really enjoyed reading it, and I should have been shouting him out earlier than this because he's been with us for so long. But yeah, I recommend y'all go read that. And it's a really, I can't say they're very happy articles, but they're really well written and really well researched. So big recommend on those. Yeah, that was the big stuff there.
Cool. Well, thanks.
How are you doing?
Doing okay. Just listening to drama, slop, and other stuff for the day. Yeah. Getting on my final days, closing in on the end of Factorio. It's happening. Dreams. What's up?
I'm very proud. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Something I've been looking forward to a lot for you. Do you mind if I know you don't mind, so I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pick your brain real quick about a metaphor that you use often. There's one that you use when you're talking to theists where like they say, oh, the universe is so perfect, or the earth is in such a perfect position only a god could have created it. And then I believe you use a puddle analogy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't agree with those people. I find their takes very stupid, but I also find your puddle metaphor a bit reductive. As far as that, what if it was you and I are walking along, we walk up, we see a puddle, and I go, oh my God, destiny. That puddle is an exact likeness of Joe Pesci. And you turn to me and you go, no, the water perfectly fits the hole into that any hole that it's in. If it was in another hole, it would look like that. And then I turn to you and I go, yeah, Destiny, I realize that. I'm saying someone probably came along and carved a hole in the ground so that if water's in it, it'll look like Joe Pesci. And then you say to me, well, that's probably just a coincidence. And then I say, I think it's probably less, I think it's more likely that someone intentionally carved that into the ground rather than it being a coincidence.
Sure.
Right. And I think that in reality, I don't think that all of these coincidences evidence a God, but I think that the Joe Pesci puddle analogy more encapsulates kind of this kind of how it's difficult for the human mind to rationalize kind of that scope of probability, right? And so
yeah, for sure, I would say that
you
would say almost for sure somebody designed this thing to look like Joe Pesci, right?
Right, but like I would say that like so in that case, right now it feels like, well, then it seems like if you look at all the numbers and things like that, it would point towards a God. How do you?
Well, wait. Let's just. I think that analogy I think works really well for the argument that I would make. So like, let's think about it for a second, right? So you come along and you find a puddle, and this puddle is in the exact same design, face, shape, or whatever of Joe Pesci. Okay, there is one huge assumption that you have baked into this analogy that breaks it from the puddle analogy. But I think that underlying assumption is the whole point of the argument against the argument from design. And I think that the point is that when you say, look at this puddle, it's designed just like Joe Pesci's face, what are the chances? And I'd say, okay, well, it was probably intelligently designed. The baked in assumption there is that Joe Pesci is a real person who has a face to design off of, and it assumes that Joe Pesci's face could only ever look one way. And I think that's the big issue with the argument from design, is that people will go, look at how fine-tuned this universe is. It must be creatively designed. But then the argument against that is, well, it could have been another way. You just don't even know what to compare it to. So by saying that I'm going to use the puddle analogy, and I'm going to say that actually, look, this must have been this must have been intelligently designed. I would say, well, yeah, of course. But that's because you and I both know that Joe Pesci is a real person who exists, and this is modeled after that. But if we didn't, I mean, it could look like anything, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. And it's like, to me, like, if someone was using like probability as their argument for God existing, right? It's like that's really depressing if that's how you like interact with your God. But
well, I wouldn't say that's depressing. I think intuitively it feels logical, right? Like, what are the chances that we have a planet that supports life and everything? The reality is that the chances are probably incredibly fucking low. Much the same that when you shuffle a deck of cards, it's probably the very first time the deck of cards has ever been shuffled like that ever. Those 52 ordered cards have never been arranged like that ever. But just because a particular arrangement is unique doesn't mean that there couldn't be other unique arrangements. And that's a very hard thing to conceptualize, because it's hard to think of a whole other universe, right?
Well, and I think that's kind of what I mean, is that when I say kind of depressing, it's like whenever people say something that kind of evidences that they haven't thought about a concept, right? Often this happens when you're talking to P.F. Jung. I hear him say shit where I'm like, oh, this is the first time this person's considered this thing that he's talking about right now, because they'll say things that just kind of show that they don't understand this concept. Like you said with the deck of cards. You're right, where it's just really hard for people to realize that how many variations there can be in a deck of cards that you would never see the same one in your lifetime, or even potentially in the universe's lifetime, whatever. And so if someone did make the probability argument about their God to me, it's like, oh, okay, this is just a person that has just like a very, like, they just have never considered these gigantic scales of probability of everything going around them, right? Like, it's kind of the thing where it's like, there are trillions of raindrops that fall in a thunderstorm. So that means that there's only 1 in a trillion chances that this raindrop is going to hit me. Yet when I walk outside, I still get soaked.
Sure.
Right? And it's kind of like, yeah, it's like the human brain just can't really put those into a perspective that really fits and then comports with kind of how we interact with the world. And so like that's why for me, whenever I would like talk to a person like that, it's like, oh, okay, like I'm not going to have a serious conversation about this with you. I don't mind talking to you or whatever, but it's like I'm not gaining anything out of this. I'm not building anything. I heard you say that a couple times to people, and I just thought about the Joe Pesci thing, and I was like, I just wanted to see kind of how you would kind of expand from that argument. So no, thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, hey, I love you. Be careful.
Hey, I love you too. I want to do after Factorio because I know you need to focus. After Factorio, I was going to hop on and do a big chat with you about the Alien Enemies Act and the recent Supreme Court case about universal injunctions.
Oh, God, kill me.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. I think Thomas has got a real handle on it. So I'll probably hop on either tomorrow or Thursday and chat with you about that.
Okay. Also, I reject the phrase universal injunction. We should just call them injunctions. I don't even like the fact that that is a new phrase that's being used. That's just wild to me. But
I think that your base is what a court would describe as base, because we'll get into it. I'll annoy the shit out of your chat with how boring it is, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that I've got stuff in the chamber.
All right, I love you. Be careful.
All right, good luck with Factorio.
Yep.
Love you too.
Bye.
I think that happened over a year ago, right? So you came in hot, first and foremost. You came in hot. You interrupted me in the middle of me speaking and trying to actually calm the panel down so you were able to speak, right? And you quite really were being sarcastic, saying, oh, this is what we love to see from the left. Oh, no, this is amazing. Being sarcastic. So you already gave us a bad vibe. You then continue to dismiss Black women's career. You dismiss their experience in regards to organizing, and you completely dismissed a Black woman that was trying to speak to you about just her simple concern, her simple disagreement with whether the first tour was organized, right? You completely said, you don't know what you're talking about? Sorry, haha. And you technically shrugged your shoulders as if like what she was saying did not matter. You gave that energy first. Tashika, even when Tashika came back up there, right? There was no energy that she gave you until she started to realize that, so it does seem like you're coming in here disingenuous. Once again, you stepped into my space off the racks, okay? Nobody else was doing that except you, Z. This lead organizer, supposedly, right? When we call you, and just to clarify, now that I got that address, I hope that you heard me out. Microaggression, do we understand what the terminology and how microaggression is defined?
Yes, I do know how microaggressions is defined. And can I respond to what you said originally?
Sure.
So I came in hot because, and this is genuine, and I'm truly, Allie, honestly, my intention was to never make anybody feel shitty, okay? Like that was not my intention. I came in hot. Honestly, if I'm being totally honest with you, I was exhausted because we had spent the whole last two weeks before that. I have a whole full-time job. That's not the Unfuck America
tour,
right?
Not an excuse, that is not
okay,
an excuse.
well,
That's not an excuse. And you think Black people aren't exhausted from dealing with your racist ass?
Because I'm letting you know where I'm coming from in terms of you said you came in hot, right? My response to you is that I came in hot because of XYZ. But mostly what I was upset about, not that I was tired, not any of those things. What I was upset about, which didn't come across properly because obviously I was tired and wasn't thinking straight, was that I was coming in to defend my staff who were texting me, messaging me, very upset about the fact that you guys were talking for the past 4 hours about how they were unorganized, right? That's what made me upset. So, and it would be disingenuous, honestly, for you to say that you didn't talk any shit about me or my staff and about
No, as a matter of fact, see, I promise you, we quite literally stated in my live, that whole 5.5 hour live, first and foremost, we had no clue that you were even the organizer, Z. We found out when you came up.
That's not true. Because people were
in that very moment in my live, I believe there was one of my mods that were trying to get you to come up on the panel, but we had no clue whatsoever who you were until you were actually actively in a box. Actively. I had no clue that you were even behind the Z, because first and foremost, that was the very first time that we all genuinely met you. Very first time. There was a person that warned us about you, and as you could see, we didn't even respond to that person because we didn't know who you were. We had no clue who he was referring to. He called you racist. He said he had issues with you, sure, but did you see us respond in any particular type of way? No, because we had no clue who you were. You were quite literally a stranger to us. So there you go. Not necessarily. I don't know if you spreading misinformation. Technically, you said you thought that we knew you. We did not know you. We had no clue about you. And you would realize that if you actually went back and listened to the last 30 minutes before you even came up. You
okay, did you say that the tour was disorganized?
Yeah, in regards. Yeah, we said that we feel like the tour is disorganized regarding to the way that it's set up in regards to specifically the people, the creators, not the organizers, because once again, we don't know you. The creators that came up on my panel were giving us multiple different answers. Everywhere. Multiple different answers. So yeah, of course we're going to say this is disorganized. We asked the question about security. Nobody really knows about security. We asked the question about exactly what's the scheduling so we can kind of be in touch. Only one person knew about that. We asked the question what's...
Wait, real quick. I'm so sorry. If I have a fusion reactor, do I not need to use fusion generators? Like this says it outputs plasma, but it says it outputs power too. Does it output power and plasma, or what the fuck is...
what's the point of this? Everybody had multiple different answers. So yes, I think that would be me. That would be valid of us saying, hey, this seems disorganized. 2 people, 3 people before you came up all had different answers, and you can admit that.
That's fine for them to have different answers because people have different reasons why they're joining the movement, right? Like some people might want to be joining because they want to register voters. Some people might want to be joining because...
Okay, wait, one more question. I'm so sorry. You get a bonus for putting these things next to each other, neighbor bonus. So if it outputs 10 per second at legendary and the neighbor bonus is 100%, if I put it near 2 other things, does it output like 40 per second or does it just heat up faster? It's the same style as a reactor.
They want to have a viral moment against Charlie Kirk. Like all of those things are fine. There's no right answer to why somebody should be involved in the tour. My whole thing here is that, so are you saying that it is wrong for our organizers to feel a certain type of way about you guys hosting a live saying that we're disorganized? Like, are you saying that that's wrong?
No, that's not wrong at all. I never said that it was wrong. I think it was wrong for you to tokenize the people of color, the POC that were working on this. That was wrong.
How is it? What did I say that was tokenizing?
You actively stated when you came in, before you even jumped into what the reason of the tour was, you said you thought that what we were seeing. Oh, go ahead, host. Go ahead.
I'll just play the tour, or not the tour. I'm just going to play the live really quick, the interaction, because I think a lot of people are in here and haven't seen the interaction. So I'm just going to play it for you guys really quick.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. And I want to clarify, if you're Mercedes, I know that you're the host. I do have Meadow in the request and Chi Chi that were actually on my panel as well that might want to talk to you after I leave officially. I just want to let you know those are the people that were on the tour.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that were in my live. I need to get them up because they were actually in my box at the time that Z was in there as well. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to just play this. It's like 6 minutes, so we're going to have to sit here together, guys.
Okay.
But we're going to do it. Tell me if you can hear it all right.
I'm going to put it on mute. And please see if you want to say something in address this, I think.
No.
Or me? Okay, I'm sorry.
I want to let her
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm just curious. Why the tour and why the setup and exactly what's the point? Just to tell Troy to rescue or
do we need the music?
No, add more to it. So yeah, I'm talking about. Is she here to have a conversation or she's just going to spew? And the second question. That is a good point. See, I know you said that you had beliefs. Are you here to actually have a conversation and explain or expand a little bit more on this?
We can have a short conversation. I just can't stay up here long, so I have to answer. But yeah, but I mean, I appreciate pushback in any respect. Obviously I'm an organizer, I'm used to that. But the point I wanted to bring up to start with is that I think that having conversations where we say things like this is so unorganized, which came out of multiple people's mouths, things like that, are directly harming the people of color that are behind this tour, that are working tirelessly to make this happen. And I'm just telling you guys that because I know that you don't know, okay? But the majority of the people behind this tour that are staying up late working on this, because this is not easy. You think that getting 50 plus people to another state to do this is easy? Because it's not, right? And so we have young people that are putting everything into this, that are scared of this administration, and then people are saying that they're unorganized.
So as somebody who's done organizing within her own community, that's why I'm saying this.
So you're saying
she has to be able to respond to one thing at a time. No, she has to be able to respond to one thing at a time.
Are you seriously saying right now, I want to remind you, room of black women in here, okay? Are you seriously saying that because other people of color are also working on this tour, that we cannot critique when things are done in bad faith?
That's not.
That is such an unbelievably bad faith question to ask that. Like, that's such a race baity question. It's actually so fucking gross that you would race bait that fucking hard. Like, oh my God.
What I said. And
okay,
you assuming, Julie, you assuming that it's in that.
What's going on?
Wait, I don't let people talk over me either. And I see that
God
that's
damn.
what you do. That you try to bully people.
Exactly. What the fuck is going on?
But I'm just telling you that there are people of color that are working behind the scenes that is harmful to.
Yeah, okay, so
this is how we're going to do it. We're going to
respond to what you said.
Again, right? So I do think it's really interesting, and you're not the only one doing this. I will say the comments are weird idea that nobody in here has ever done any sort of any kind of organizing or whatever. Why do you think Tabby said what Tabby said when I said what I said?
Nobody said that.
You did say that.
I said that nobody has organized anything. That came out of my mouth.
You literally did. I don't know if you forgot, but it was something
No, I said that no, what I said specifically, Ice, was that organizing people, 50 people to go out of state is not an easy job.
Nobody said it was. Nobody said it was. What was I trying to say?
Wait. Was that me saying that nobody?
Yes. I specifically
that's not what I mean, and that's not what I
Holy
said.
shit.
So you
How
is that disingenuous?
That's
the way that's not what I said.
I also specifically like to say that I'm one of the people. I was one of the people who has been specifically saying that this is.
Just as a real quick thing, what you're listening to right now is the origination of all of this drama. It's this right now. That's it, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Nearly disorganized. And that's when you came in and said that.
Go ahead, Ice, and then we're going to...
I think it's fucking ridiculous for your... I mean, you know what? I think it's fucking ridiculous.
This is edited so badly. I hate that.
Several organizations for people of color, for houseless people, houseless youth, just the youth, about me not knowing anything about organization. I think that's fucking hilarious. As somebody who's like done exactly what you're doing, I'm telling you right now, it's incredibly disorganized. Maybe it's a short time period, and that's the reason why. But you're shit at your job. What I am saying, right, is on top of that, you know what, you can forget everything else, because Elena brought up an excellent point. You want to come up here and you want to wank yourself off to the work that black people, marginalized people are doing, but then at the same time, you won't even put them at the front of your bullshit-ass website. Shut the fuck up, you useless ass, lipless...
It's like, we need a slur for black saviors. What is this type of person? It's like a white savior in a black person's body. What do you even call these people? It's so unhinged. Like, are you the savior of all black people who have, like, not only do you claim your own black people as like tokens, like other people can't even talk about black people, and now you claim those black people too. Like, you came in here to tokenize black people as part of your movement. Not only can you not tokenize them, now watch me tokenize them. Like, you're speaking on behalf of your black workers? What's wrong with you? It's like, holy shit, it's actually so unhinged.
Assless, loser ass bitch. Don't ever come here and talk to black
Also, nice racist attacks there. Good one.
people like that again. Crushing nonsense human. Anyway, so I'm just going to talk about why we're doing the tour, since none of y'all know how to have a proper conversation. So the reason for this.
No, but I do want to pause, because I do, when she says, because in my opinion, and this is why I have an issue, because this is horrible. The conversation was horrible on every single front from every single person involved in the convo. When she responds, you gotta, like, this woman has just been told she's a crunchy, crispy, nonsense human,
No, they were speaking in their native tongue. That is not what they said.
Oh my God. Are you seriously going to make the argument here that Ebonics is some like closely guarded secret that white people can't decipher or discern? What? Come on.
We're speaking in their native tongue, and that's not what they said, and I don't think you want
Native tongue?
Bruh.
No, nor do you. I think, just when I say I don't think you want to know what they're going to say.
Please don't speak over me.
I'm just letting you know that's not what
they said. A lipless, assless, haven't asked BICTH is English, and that's what I heard spoken. And for Z to respond to that in a way, like, I'm sorry, but if someone started talking to me like that, I'd be like, oh, hell no. And her response to it was, her response to it was like, hey, well, obviously you guys don't know how to have a conversation on this. I'm going to continue talking about the tour. Like, I don't think you guys are giving enough credit to the fact that, I'm sorry, but every time I listen to, I've watched the YouTube video how many times now, I've seen it over and over and over again, and watching this play out, it's not, I don't know how, one, this exploded a tour. Number two, I see a bunch of people going at each other over and over and over again in a way that I don't think is productive, but I don't necessarily see is racist. Hold on, tomfoolery, do you have an opinion on the live that you just watched?
So I can't speak what you just said?
I think everyone should get to talk on this matter.
But you're directing, did you not direct that towards me?
If you want to let her respond first, yeah, because that would make sense if she responded first, and I'm happy to go after if that's okay.
Okay, just letting you guys know that this is like, I want to have an actual conversation about this live that isn't on the premises of, oh, you're the most evil person on the world, and now we're going to be putting like all of your information out on the internet, because that is what transpired after this live, and I don't feel like that was an accurate response to a live like this.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak on whether or not the person that called Z a lipless, assless, whatever. I'm not going to respond to that because those are not my words. If you want to address her, she can absolutely come up. You guys see, she is in here.
Oh my God.
She's in here. Her name was Ice, right? Well, that's just because I don't run my lives as if like having to stop people when they want to speak. Just like, Z was able to speak her mind as well. That's just the way I do my stuff, right? Either way, with that being said, as you can see, even as the host, I really don't appreciate you blaming me for shit that other people said on the panel. You didn't hear me check Z once when she was microaggressing upon us in that panel. You didn't hear me check her once, okay? The only time that I controlled the panel is when it was over-speaking. I had to do that twice. And you played the clip, right? So I think I did a decent job. But that's not the point. The point is, I want to make this very clear. The fact that you, and I'm just going to say this really quickly, and then you can let Tom go. I'm going to go ahead and dip because I feel like it's probably not going to be any productive anymore.
I really want to.
I want to address you really quickly based on what you just said.
Before you go,
sure. I'll give Tom, like, I guess a few minutes, but it's just that what you just said. Realistically, the fact that you are willing to only use a black woman's response, her emotional response, after pretty much being her experience being completely dismissed.
A black woman's emotional response to being microaggressed? Again, no offense, but like, if this is how you deal with these things, then you're just not cut out for this. Like, I'm so sorry. We're not talking about getting like rape threats, or we're not talking about getting like death threats or doxing attempts. We're talking about somebody saying like, hey, it sounds like you don't have, I don't even think he said you don't have any experience here. Somebody talking over you in a group, this is not the space for you. Go find a different space and go talk there. This is not for you. You can't function in these environments, which is fine. Not everybody needs to be able to, but.
You're willing to only hyper-focus on that and not actively listen to the things that Z said that led up to that black woman's emotional response. Tells me everything that I need to know about how this movement is probably going to fucking fail. But with that being said, go ahead, Tom.
Jesus.
Well, I totally get everything that you're saying, and actually, I posted up a ton of panels when I watched this the first time. I thought that you did like a fairly good job. That was a really hard panel to moderate, so I don't fault you for that at all. But when you say that, like, that woman obviously is getting defensive because she feels like her experiences are being dismissed, her expertise is being dismissed. I totally get that, but I also think that with everything that was said beforehand about how horribly the entire organization was being handled, how the
we didn't say horrible, to be fair.
What? No. Dude, this lady is the ultimate. These people are also, bro, you got to be real careful with these like progressive type chicks. They are the ultimate like manipulator, mindfucker, abusers. The language that they use, like, I didn't say that exactly. That's like somebody could come in and be like, you worthless ass fucking broke ass piece of shit motherfucker. Like, you went where shit. Your mom fucking hates you. Blah, blah. And then you're like, damn, dude, like, Jesus, you said my family hated me and everything. I didn't say your family hates you. Damn, you said I didn't have any money. I never actually said you don't have any money. This is like abuser language. Like, unironically, when people will nitpick, like, you know what the fuck she's saying and you know what the fuck you said.
Beforehand about how horribly the entire organization was being handled, how the
we didn't say horrible, to be fair.
Well, sure, not we, but there's some people who were talking about how bad, as a generalization, how bad it was being organized, and obviously the organizer being Z makes sense that she would also be a little bit defensive. But when Z is defensive, this seems to be taken with a grain of salt, and then when the other person's defensive, this is something that everybody should really care about a lot.
I can answer that. There? Absolutely, and Z admits it herself. What she did was unprofessional. The way that she handled being defensive, and she said that she was protecting one person that got yelled at for once again pivoting the entire conversation, was extremely unprofessional of her. Okay, she stepped in being very condescending, being patronizing to everybody in that box. People that didn't even deserve it, and I will even say Tashika didn't deserve that pushback as well, because Tashika was not originally being rude to her.
Oh my
she
God.
Was not, and there was no disrespect towards her. So the fact that she even admits herself, even towards other people, probably not towards us, that she was not professional with stepping into my space like that, and she was very offensive, is your answer. To be real,
sure.
Us being 1 second, just to say this really quickly. Us, the women on that panel, including Tashika, who is a fairly popular content creator, us yapping, and obviously you can tell that wasn't a formal space in the first place, compared to a formal person that is obviously trying to lead and create change. It's completely different. So for you to try to even put me on a fucking pedestal, or I'm sorry, me or others on a pedestal that were in that box, the other black women that are in the box, compared to Z trying to put
like, listen to the infantilizing, right? I can't be held to any speech standards, whatever. I'm just a little TikToker. LOL. It's not even a formal space. LOL. Like.
On the same level, I think it's very, honestly, I think that's kind of ridiculous, to be blunt with you. That's you, and you have to admit that, because we're not leading anything. That was a yap session. Z came up there and showed her ass as a leader of this big thing that she's trying to obviously change votes for.
But the other woman was supposedly leading something, right? Like, that was the claim, is that she also leads, she also organizes, she does the same thing as Z. Why would we expect this professionalism from Z?
Well, she didn't say that she did the same thing. She didn't say that.
Well, okay, I just think that
she said she's familiar with organizing, to be fair. She said she's familiar with organizing, and somebody that has organized before was able to critique Z.
She just said in the comments, I do organize.
Right, she doesn't do the same thing as Z. She just said that she's...
Oh my, like, listen to this. Like, the mass nitpicking. Like, hello? You know what he's trying to get at. Jesus.
Familiar with that. She has experience with that, to be fair. Go ahead.
But when it comes to the professionalism, like, Z is also a TikToker, right? So she does go on panels. She does go. She was on numerous other shows and other panels before this as well, and she has like a, back and forths with people. So her, you guys weren't the ones that should have expected professionalism from her. That would be her movement, right? And so she apologized to them for the unprofessionalism, but it wouldn't be you guys that would expect that apology, correct?
It should have been us, though. If you're saying that if you're apologizing for your behaviors and actions on my live, why are you only apologizing to the people that possibly that didn't necessarily directly affect? It affected us. The people that actually experienced her microaggression. That's backwards. That would be backwards. Do we understand how backwards that would be to apologize to people that did not directly experience the microaggression and racism? That's not the way you would do it, even as a leader. If you're calling yourself to be this leader and you're trying to make change, you would, swallow your pride, your uncomfortability, and apologize to the people that you actually aggress upon.
Sure, I'm asking about the unprofessionalism, though. If you want to talk about the microaggressions, that would be like a different conversation to me. I was more so asking about the unprofessionalism, because if that's the complaint, then the complaint would be the people who would have that issue with her is her own organization for the unprofessionalism. But with you guys, if it's about the microaggressions, then the unprofessionalism wouldn't be the issue. It would be a microaggression, right?
I would say it would be both, and this is what I mean that you guys don't actively listen to us. Yeah, no, when we're talking about this organization, and Z's obviously saying like, hey, I'm the leader of this organization, then you would have to agree that that is an issue itself with the way that she acted on my live. It's going to be unprofessional nevertheless, but yes, I can say that the microaggressions and racism is something that we were focusing on, but it absolutely her being unprofessional was a conversation we had afterwards as well. It's both. I don't know why it can't be both in this situation. But either way, I do apologize. I actually have to go. Tom, thank you for having a conversation. Mercedes, you have a good one. Y'all have a good day.
I didn't drop her. Hi.
She's still there. She's just.
I love how many of these people come on to like monologue and then leave.
All right, just want to make sure. Hey, sorry, Tom. Don't mean to speak over you, but I have a lot to say. So I'm a 57-year-old woman, and sitting here listening to you guys bullshit is so counterproductive. You guys aren't getting anything done.
Oh my God.
I understand Mercedes' point of view, and I understand who she's trying to channel, because there is a group of people that she does need to channel in onto, because I used to be one of them. I voted for Trump in 2016. I'm a retired Leo. If you don't know what a Leo is, I'm a retired police officer. I was a hardcore Republican my entire life. Being 57 years old, look at that time span. I grew up indoctrinated into religion, into certain aspects of this thing that a lot of people don't understand. When you get involved with this group of people and you are in this bubble, you know, being a cop my entire like adult life, I started law enforcement at 13. I was I guess what you would call like an apprentice police officer. I started off as a child in law enforcement, groomed to be a law enforcement officer. At 21, not even old enough to like buy a drink, I was a cop on the street in California, in the streets of LA. Let me tell you something, what I've learned. From taking a step back from my retirement, which is 10 years ago, because I got injured on duty, I learned a lot because I had to take a step back out of the bubble and reflect on what those things that I was taught and indoctrinated to learn from the difference of what I actually learned outside of the bubble once I stepped out of that group. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
When I retired as a police officer, I became a flight attendant because I desired to fly the world and learn and get free flights and that whole little thing. Let me tell you something. When you travel the world and when you see things outside of that fucking bubble of conservative, being a conservative fucking Republican, or even being indoctrinated into this Trump thing because it is a fucking cult, you learn, you lose your way. Because you don't understand that there's more outside of that little fucking bubble because you're stuck in that fucking group. And it's so upsetting to see you guys sit here and argue because you guys are all young. And I respect what you guys are doing. I respect it all. But you need to understand what you guys are doing is counterproductive right now. And I hate to say it because you can't.
Why is she... Fuck me, dude. Oh, God, fuck. I'm about to get... Why is she arguing on Twitter? I can't tell if she's actually retarded or not. Destiny is claiming the only issue is not having access to the unredacted documents. This is extremely interesting, seeing that Destiny's attorneys opposed the motion of filing under seal and wanted unredacted versions filed before the seal was granted. You're supposed to provide you're supposed to provide us with a copy of stuff that you're filing. Number one. Number two, yeah, of course you oppose a motion. You always oppose a motion. Why not? It's a free opposition. If you win on an opposition, you win on opposition. But look, that doesn't go to show anything. Destiny's attorneys were told repeatedly that they would have access to the unredacted versions after the court ordered for the names to be protected. Giving them access to the names before the court could protect them would defeat the purpose of the seal. First of all, we were told that, but then they said that they wouldn't be providing us the names if those things weren't sealed. They would just retract them. Holy shit. Is this worth... I don't know if this is worth responding to. I feel like I should... I don't know.
Can't change these people's minds. There's no way of doing it. I'm on the other side. I actually went through this progress of my life-changing experience. And it took me to be a flight attendant to learn and to take a little bit from people and to open up and expand my mind. What you guys are doing right now is not going to fix anything. We're so far beyond this. And for people who have not traveled to other countries, let me tell you, we are...
Wait, I can't tell. This woman is based, right? I think she's being based.
In a fucking problem. This is a constitutional fucking issue. This has nothing to do with black, white, fucking Democratic, Republican. This is about what is right for our Constitution. Are you for our Constitution,
no, I mean,
or are you for one fucking man? That's where you need to fucking realize where we're at right now. Actually, are you for freedom and democracy, or are you for a fucking person who is trying to impact authoritarianism and take down our democracy one brick at a time? He's selling us out. If you guys don't get your shit together, we're in a fucking problem right now. Jeez. And it hurts to see you guys fucking not see this.
Are you talking about like when you say to not see it, like are you talking about how like where do you think we should be directing our attention to? Because is the problem that is the infighting the issue, or is it like
it is, and it is, it always is. Yeah. So I can tell you this from being an ex-Republican, or not, I'm still kind of like a rhino, but I can tell you that being a rhino and seeing, I call them maggots, this is a fucking problem.
That's appropriating my vernacular, but okay.
Because this is a cult. And I understand what you were saying earlier, Mercedes, like you need to reason with them because yes, we do, but you also need people like me where I shame them because I lost family members. I lost so many people because my whole family is military and law enforcement. I lost an entire side of my family and it kills me to see that. And I'm going to die knowing that I will never get those family back. And I'm a black woman, I'm mixed. Fucking caught for 20 plus years of my life. Dedicated my life to community. My daughter was in the military. My dad was in the military. Everyone's been in the military except for me. And my daughter is now a law enforcement.
What's that? What do you want?
Did Pac-Man drop out?
Yes.
Is it? Do you think it's audience capture? Because he dropped out of the Pangburn thing as well.
There's literally
right?
a whole fucking thing on it. Why don't you come and ask me? There's a statement, a public statement on it.
I haven't seen the statement. Somebody told me about it a little bit ago. So I talked to a bunch of these people after this as well, and I debated them on a lot of these things. The person that you were just talking about, they're kind of like being super autistic about the language and hyper focusing on specific words. They do this the entire time, where we go over like what is a microaggression, what specifically Z said that was a microaggression. Everything literally makes no sense. Like we ran around in circles on this for probably like 30, 45 minutes, and they don't seem to actually have like positions on any of these things. They just, the whole thing that everybody's running around with is you just need to listen to black women. Like that's the mantra repeated over and over, is just listen to black women. But if you bring up that other black women say something different, then you're tokenizing them. And I don't know how to compete with this fucking rhetoric or language when they have like specific people that you're supposed to listen to. So when they say listen to black women, they're not actually saying listen to all black women. Is there a steel man of this, or a thing that actually makes it make sense in any way from you talking to people like this on Twitch back in the day?
I don't know. Well, hey, let me listen. I don't think I've heard her talk to you yet. Give me a minute and I'll have an opinion on it. Because I haven't even heard them go over like microaggressions or anything yet. Yeah.
Well, I meant just the idea that like if they say listen to black women, but they're just talking about like it in general.
I think that's based, but then I just say my name's Destiny.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay. Love you.
All right. Yeah. Tell Pac-Man to quit being a bitch.
Based.
Later, person officer, and she's gay. So there are so many mixed emotions here that you guys all need to stop the infighting, because that's what they want you to do. They want you guys to fight. This is like, I hate to say this, and please no disrespect, but this is like a fucking school round fucking high school fight. And it's ridiculous. True. Get over yourselves, because this is not about us. This is about saving our fucking Constitution. Our Constitution is worth fighting for. And if you guys don't see that, we're fucked. Keep on doing this, we're fucked.
True.
You all need to grow up, get over your fucking, I hate this fucking term you guys will use, microaggressions. Get over that shit.
Ooh,
if you don't get thick-skinned and learn how to fucking get through this moment, we're not going to survive it. It's up to you, because you guys are all young, and I can see by looking at you all, I'm fucking old as shit. And before I die, I want to make sure that my daughters are okay, my grandkids are okay, and it's up to you guys to fucking do this. And if you can't do the job because you guys are too busy infighting with each other, it's never going to happen. Yeah. It's going to be disappointing. I'm on Mercedes' side because I understand her point of view, being an Republican. Totally get it. But you guys need to wake the fuck up. This is about protecting our Constitution, protecting our country, and doing the thing that's right for the American people. This has nothing to do with fucking being black, white, Hispanic. I don't give a shit. Republican, Democratic, Independent. This has to do with the American people and protecting our Constitution. If you guys don't stand up for our Constitution, you have no business fucking living in America.
Damn. Jesus.
Am I right or am I wrong?
I personally believe you're right, but I know these people are going to tag me for believing that you're right.
I don't give a shit. They can go ahead and fucking like bitch all they want. It's a fact. If you're an American, our number one job is to protect our Constitution. Is that not right or is that wrong? I took an oath. My daughter took an oath.
Holy fucking.
Everybody in the military takes an oath.
Based.
That oath is to protect our Constitution, our constitutional rights, to make sure that we can be free, and everything is adaptable to everyone that's sitting here.
True. And that's why we need to go ahead and send Israel another $100 billion. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Including Tom, who I think is a complete idiot. Sorry, Tom.
Whoa!
It's just sad that you guys are sitting here fighting amongst each other. What are you getting done?
I don't think you're making it sound like we're here to like fix the whole world or something. I think like I came up actually.
You should be here to fix the world.
And then we're talking about, and then the people who were brought on. Yeah, I've actually for a while been trying to ask these people to explain these things in a way to where I could understand. And I think Mercedes said as well, like she wanted to hear them out and hear what they had to say and try to understand. I personally, when I watch these people talk about these things, there isn't a mind frame that I can get into to understand where they're coming from. And this isn't just me. This is like
but Tom, maybe that's not. Maybe, but Tom, can I say this? Maybe that's not your. And I respect that, Tom. But maybe that your mind frame and what you want to do is probably not going to happen. When it comes to people getting together, we all may not we may not all agree with each other or see each other's light and energy. But one thing that we have in common is that we're fighting for our Constitution. We're fighting for America. And I think that you guys need to fucking understand that. This is not about what you think or what she thinks or Mercedes thinks or what Z thinks.
I don't think we have that in common with those people, though. I don't know that those people actually are fighting for our Constitution.
I'm not saying those other people are good, because frankly, I think they're stupid too, because they're trying to get fucking likes. I mean, this is all about likes, and it's all about like popularity.
No, but it's not.
Let's put that-
It's not about likes and popularity for us.
It's
What
not,
it's about,
really?
No, it's not. What it's about is making sure that we have enough people that are registered to vote that we know we will have a blue wave for the House in 2026. That is what this is about. That is
But
all
you
that
can't
this is
do that. But you can't do that when you're arguing. When you're arguing
I
amongst
think that-
yourselves, you know that, right?
I think that
You got to look at the perspective.
I understand, I think, where this lady's coming from. I think the issue, she just doesn't have the full context, because in her mind, she's probably, my guess is, I'm guessing a lot. My guess is she's coming in and she's just saying like, why the fuck are you guys fighting over this shit? This is like fucking retarded. Like, just like go organize and do shit. But my guess is what she doesn't realize is that like they were doing that and an entire event basically got self-destructed as a result of this type of shit. So they kind of have to address it. But maybe, or maybe she has a different perspective and she'll get to it. But that's what it feels like.
No, I think that your position is that the infighting on the left. I think she's on our side about the infighting on the left is
Yes, I am.
bad. Like Z, Zombie, Common, like all of us agree the infighting is bad, and that's what we want to sort of start eliminating. Everyone on this, we're on the same. At least we have the same opinion that we believe that infighting is bad, and it's against making progress in this country. And I think we all agree to that. It's the reason why we have this live is because we wanted to introduce ourselves and come out here. But then there's people who really come into the live and they want to come up and speak, and we let them engage in conversation. This is the first live we've done when it comes to, you know, trying to engage this movement of what we're doing with the audience on TikTok.
So I can say this though, Mercedes, not to interrupt, but I totally agree because I watch your stuff, and I can say as a 57-year-old woman, I agree with the majority of stuff that you say. I don't know about the others. I kind of took a little peek. It's a little crazy, but let me tell you something. If you want to conform people and if you want to unite people, you need to understand you can't do this shit to each other. This is like fucking high school crap.
True.
And you know, and I understand what you're doing, but you also need people who want to roll around and get dirty. And I'm one of those people. I don't mind fucking Trump up because I have relatives.
Fucking true. Yes.
That totally took my daughter down for being gay. Fucking said the worst shit ever that it can never take back. So for me to shame them is like my whole fucking life thing until I die. And I totally understand you, Mercedes, but you need to understand there are people like me. You need people like me. You can't always be nice.
I'm just trying, but that is my whole goal. My whole goal in
I think this lady just doesn't understand the context of like how much of a clusterfuck everything became as a result of these people. So I think that's my guess. Is she just turned this on and she's like, why are these people fighting over so much retarded shit? Like, why do you guys waste your time doing that? That's my guess for what happened here.
Well, this is to lead with love at the end of the day. Like that's.
I understand that, hun, but you can't always do that. And I'm going to say this: you can't always bring a knife to a pew-pew fight. You have to bring a fucking pew-pew.
I'm not bringing a KNIFE to it. I'm bringing cookies and sandwiches and juice boxes.
Hey, and you know what? And there's room for you. And we need people like you. We need people. We even need people like Tom, who I don't appreciate. We need people like Z. We need a little bit of everything. But you guys need to be more focused on stop the fighting amongst each other and start grouping these people together and start being united because we're all on the same fucking front. You want a front line? You need to develop a front line. You want to fucking fight oppressors? You need to fucking create a fucking scrimmage line. If you don't have a scrimmage line, you don't have anything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to that. I think this is a productive conversation. I mean, like for everyone who's here, I just want you to understand that my lives like this can be brutal, and I understand my.
It is. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about what my grandfather told me.
One second. I just wanted to say that I want people to know that leading with love is the most important thing you can do, and that is my point here. The left doesn't agree with me and doesn't think that my opinion belongs on the left. I'm not on the left.
Well, of course, everyone's going to get haters. Everyone's always going to get haters, Mercedes. Everyone, the left or right, extremists, always going to get haters. But let me tell you something. There was one good thing that my grandfather said to me when I was a child. And he was a black man living in Louisiana back in the day when he had to use a restroom. And my dad was mixed, so he was a little white.
A lot, okay?
My grandfather couldn't go into the bathroom back in the 60s because my grandfather was black. But his son could. So let me say something from what he told me. He said, if you see 10 Nazis sitting at a picnic table, and if you decide to sit with those 10 Yahtzees, there are now 11 Yahtzees.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I get that, but the point is to de-Yahtzee it, you know what I mean?
But sometimes we can't do that with being nice and with love.
I do it with all of them, but I think I think one of my biggest frustrations is like people forget to understand how multifaceted humanity is, and it's like at the left, these people in the comment section, you came on and you didn't even say anything. Your first words were I was a comp, right? Mm-hmm. And all in the comment sections started screaming ACAB, 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 ACAB.
Of course they did.
And they don't know nothing about you, not a single thing about you, and they start off.
No, they don't know that I have saved plenty of lives. I have fucking done my job.
Yeah, that's
no, they don't know that. They don't know that I possibly have showed up to their mom's house when she wasn't breathing, having a heart attack.
Ooh, yo, mama.
I just want, like, and then they go off and they do that, and it's like, I wish they would go find a live that they actually enjoy. Like, if you don't, no, not you, like them. If they,
no, I
if
understand.
they want to go off and just put like ACAB and they just want to like not like people, just not to like them, then I'm sorry, but I'm toxically positive, and I don't want. You know what I mean?
I'm toxically fucking out there, and I will fucking voice my opinion. So if you guys want to do that ACAB shit, that's bullshit, because who's the first person that you fucking call when you need help? It's me.
Hold on. The comment section, I don't know which person you're following that you guys came to this and you guys thought like saying like, you're talking about murking people in this comment section. This is the. One second, let me talk really quick without interrupting, because I really have something I want to say. My biggest frustration is the fact that there's people in here who are hateful and on the left, and I do not want to associate with people who are hateful and on the left. Like, it's not something I want to do.
But they're trolling you. You understand that, right?
No, they're not following me anymore, because after like lives like this is my point of having lives like this and creating the content that I have, is I want these people to understand that if you think all cops are bad and you're saying only good cop is a DEAD cop, that's not it for me. Like, that's
pretty sick.
And they wonder.
But this is the sick society.
And they wonder why people go and be MAGA, and it's like, look at your.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I totally agree with you. And they need to understand, they will sit here and bitch about cops. They will sit here and bitch about firemen, bitch about anybody who has an authoritarian position. But yet when they need them, they're the first to fucking call. And it's fucking bullshit.
For me, it's just the hate that comes from these people. Like, the MAGA is already hateful enough. Why are we not on this side able to understand that responding in this way as well is not okay? And
can I tell you why? It's because this president, Trump, has allowed the line to be drawn. And he's created the most havoc and chaos in any presidential in the fucking history. He has created nothing but division. I've lost an entire side of my family because of this shit. And it's heartbreaking. I don't even talk to them anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
They didn't even come to my daughter's wedding. And, and it was a gay marriage. They couldn't even attend because we don't talk. And it's so bad that the shit that this guy's created has fucking destroyed America. And it's bringing us down. And if we don't unite and put this other shit aside, like all this fucking hostility or dislikes for each other.
Just really quickly, thank you so much for.
I do still have very monotone voice.
The endorphins are off. No, I get it. I'm glad you recovered. But let me tell you this. We all need to fucking put 100% into this and stop fighting amongst each other. It's bullshit. If we do not unite, we will never get the job done. Our job and our mission is to get rid of this motherfucker and get rid of
that. And someone's saying over here.
The rest is boring? Oh. Okay. Well, okay. Now we've watched enough to have context for this video, whatever the fuck this is.
Right now, because I mean, we have to face the reality. Like, we got our ass beat in every single swing state.
Yeah. Can I? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do you don't read these comments, do you?
I try not to.
Maybe you should. Just kidding.
I was pretty fired up in our DMs. And I think that that's because of like just a larger conversation that we have been having all night too, about this sort of like this.
Oh my God.
I think that I don't know what the plan is for 2.0. I don't know if it is to only court people that
where'd the yappers go? Holy shit! Well, this is the anti-yapper.
Haven't been put off entirely by 1.0. That haven't heard word one about it. It might be okay. But I think that like the fact that like the fact that you haven't talked about the stuff that has happened in any sort of meaningful way is, I'm just going to reiterate what I said, is going to continue to poison whatever well-meaning thing, whatever groundswell of support that you are able to generate. And that sucks.
What did we?
And that's the reality.
I don't even know.
And unless that you do that meaningfully, it's going to continue to not only not help but hurt, and it's going to be this sideshow that we are all going to have to deal with, because that's all anyone wants to fucking talk about. It's all anyone wants to talk about because of this. Like I just made a fucking entrance on an innocuous live about a disgusting bigot, and all we're talking about is this. about this.
But don't you
fucking
think
tour.
that's crazy? Like, don't you think that's insane?
Do you? But you don't know why that's insane.
Why? What is insane?
By why? But why that? Like, why the impetus is to talk about this?
For what it blew up for? No, I think that the reaction is absolutely crazy to what the reality is.
Did you delete that number tweet asking if people were going to cry? No. Why? Did it get deleted?
And I guess my question is to you, like, why is it that the right can do this but we can't?
Because we have morals. Yeah.
But that's not.
No, it's still not.
That's not like enough to say that, because like everybody on the left, like we're all at a different place in our journey, right? Like we all are.
I don't think that you can say that.
Ooh.
What do you mean?
What place are you in your journey?
I'm a democratic socialist.
Okay.
Red
Yeah.
Do you?
I'm not like a Jill Steiner or like a. Yeah, I mean, like I voted for Bernie twice. Like I worked on his campaign. I helped AOC. Like I'm.
But like we were referencing this journey of like this woman earlier, just unpacking kind of like the shit a lot of us unlearn, the sort of like inherent bullshit that we are spoon fed since we were talking about Columbus earlier, and like the unlearning just the deep rooted bullshit, right?
Sure. Yeah, but the question is like. The right has similar conversations, though, but why do we...
My question was, like, how are we going to say things like, we're all on different stages of our journey, as enlightened as that sounds, and not be able to address, like, substantive harm that you might have done in a life?
Well, we did.
When did we do that?
No, we did it behind closed doors before the trip.
Oh, he's pointing.
How did that go?
Is she digging a grave?
Oh.
It went great until we got back, and all of a sudden, well, and we could talk about that part offline, because again, I'm not here to tear down other people. That's been a big part of this for me. I really hope that you understand that.
Okay.
A lot happened behind closed doors that I don't want to talk about, because
I don't want to talk about it either. You put in a lot of work in this. You continue to be the figurehead.
Oh, she's deconstructing. True.
And if that remains to be the case, without you sort of at the very fucking minimum acknowledging the realities of like
Jesus Christ,
doing accidental harm to communities you don't mean to, and expect for things to just cool off because you didn't address it, it's not going to work like that. Some instances it will work like that. It will not work like that. I'm just telling you. And like, this is...
But I don't know what you mean, because I spoke with the creators of color on the trip before, and they had said to not release a statement, and that releasing a statement would be harmful for them. So why would I then turn around and say,
have you listened to the community?
Anyway?
Have you listened to the community at writ large saying, talk about this?
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why I went on Destiny and I talked about what I...
The Nazi? Can you summarize what this guy has said so far? Yes. Actually, somehow I speak this language. He said, this is never going to get better unless you take accountability. But he hasn't said what that means yet. But he's basically spent 6 minutes saying that.
Could talk about.
Okay.
Because he has a bigger platform than me, and he was willing to platform me to discuss it, you know? And I'm sure that you have problems with it. I'm sure, like, listen, I get it. But again, this is my whole point, right? Like, I don't agree with Destiny on everything, but I acknowledge that he brings MAGA people over to our side.
Okay.
And I think that that's important.
Okay. And?
Okay.
I know, listen, I get that you're not there, and I'm not even asking you to be there. All I'm asking from you and from the community at large is that we need to win electoral power. We can all agree that have to do that.
What I'm saying,
Z, is that if you're not willing to stand up and take accountability for how you've harmed black women, we never will get electoral power.
See, we need to win electoral power, but not at the expense of our goddamn fucking morals. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but what does that? But what does that even mean?
You don't even know. Why don't you listen? Don't answer, but tell her to listen.
You're saying that you would rather have a third Trump term?
Here's what I'm saying. The people at the head of the table, you, need to be, to some degree, beyond reproach. You need to not be fighting it out in some dumb dick live that you don't have anything to do with.
I apologize for that.
Cool. But not really, though, because
I did. I addressed, and if you go look at the text, I did absolutely address that.
Okay. But here's this.
This is also one of the reasons why I say, and I guess I'd be critical of Z or whatever here, or anything. But like, this is one of the reasons why I say don't ever bother apologizing to these people. It's literally not worth it because they're not going to accept it, right? And he's demonstrating that right now. Like he doesn't give a fuck if she apologizes. There's really no concern or care whatsoever. There's no point in doing it.
This is my point. This is the only point that I'm trying to make is that the people holding the reins need to on some level not to be embroiled in shit like this, because of what this movement represents and to whom it represents. If somebody at the head of that party or movement has offended an enormous group of people and has just decided that my black friends told me I didn't have to make a statement and therefore I didn't.
It wasn't my black friends. It was the black content creators that were involved with the project. They're not just random black people.
And that's fine. And I did apologize and and dismiss the harm that was done. It doesn't matter how many Republican MAGA fucking disgusting bigots that you turn if our base is fractured. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say. However many Rays that you can convert will not equal the.
Are we allowed to use that? Ray and Pookie? Are we allowed to say that? Or was he doing a different reference there that I didn't understand? I thought those were only for black women. Do white people get access to those words now? Or am I hearing, was he making a different reference or?
Community. That's all I'm saying. And it's not beyond fixing, but try, dude.
What do those words mean? I have no idea. The MAGA guys called Ray. Oh, sorry, my bad, just kidding. When in the divestiture movement for the black ladies or whatever, Ray and Pookies were always like the black men who ain't shit. The black men who ain't shit. They were your Pookie and Rays, I think. But I don't think that's what he meant. Sorry, forgot I said that.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, but again, I don't agree with the black friends comment because they're not black friends. These are people that were on the tour that this affected, right? Sure. Shouldn't they be the first people that you go to in a situation like that? Because honestly, no matter what happens online, there's going to be a group that is not happy with it, whether that be race related or not race related. That's just part of the course. But you go to the people that it affects the most, in my opinion, to ask what their perspective is. And that's exactly what I did. And many things happened after the trip that I personally don't even have answers for myself. But the whole point here is that if the goal here is to build electoral power, which I would hope that the goal is, then why can't we band together even with people that we don't necessarily fully agree with? I'm not telling anybody to fully agree with me.
I am, and you should.
On the spectrum of...
I am on the spectrum.
This is going to be harsh. On the spectrum of Ray to you. Hopefully a pretty big spectrum, right?
That's a massive spectrum.
I would hope so, right?
Yes.
At what level do we expect people to just be okay with things that are offensive to them? Gorilla blackface? Sure. making things, whether you are making statements that are unbecoming, as kind a euphemism as that is, and like offending certain people. At what point do we just say, okay, well now we just have to like put our morality aside and just band together?
Well, I don't think
What
it's
are we
about like
talking
it's
about?
necessarily about like let's just put our morality aside. Like obviously what Ray did was very racist. Like nobody.
Wait, what? I'm so sorry. I'm losing track. Who was Ray or what was? Oh, that was the guy on the live that did the monkey mask thing. Okay.
Not a single person disagrees with you.
What about what you did?
What, the supposed microaggressions? That's like I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Did he cut her out?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Wait. What? Oh my god, he's so cool.
Fuck, man. I don't know.
He got her, dude.
We're all on different parts of our journey.
He got her good.
My particular part is denying the fact that I
was a racist.
did anything wrong.
True. Where's the accountability?
That's my part. I'm sorry, Z. You know, I'm doing my fucking best here, but that sucks. That sucks.
Damn.
So. Fuck me.
Jesus. What a heavy live. What a heavy live. That was a lot, guys. All right, good one.